Hello and welcome to IGN UK Podcast number 302. My name is Gav Murphy and today I'm joined by Mr. Alex Simmons.
What's up?
And
Wow, are we doing that?
It's the first time that's been done in about 10 years.
It's current, isn't it?
I'm Mr. Daniel Krupa.
Hello.
I used to love it when
I've been tangoed.
Yeah. Well, that's good, isn't it?
Yes. You know what wasn't good? People who might have downloaded last week's podcast and wanted to hear an interview with Guillermo del Toro. And it wasn't the most forthcoming with chat.
Shut up.
But if you go and re-download that episode now, you can have a lovely 20-minute discussion about Ghost.
What was wrong with it, Daniel?
I don't know what was wrong with that, Gav.
Well, what was wrong was
You were off your face.
Yeah. Don't ask me to do things a day after having a load of booze. We won a podcast award, and then you said, right now you've got a podcast the morning after.
I don't think I actually came in and said, right, you guys got a podcast. It's just like, that's what we've got to do on a weekly basis.
We had to record a podcast the day after we won an award. And as you can probably imagine, we went a bit dros ben llestri in Welsh, we would say. Over the top.
Off our knockers.
Is that beautiful language?
On the old booze.
What does that actually mean?
There's actually no translation.
translation.
It means like dros ben llestri means over the top of plates. But it doesn't make any sense in English. It'd be over the top.
It doesn't make any sense in any
And then
language.
essentially, because I was really hungover, I did something wrong with the edit, and a lot of people didn't get Guillermo del Toro audio.
The thing that I like, right, because when Rich Bear Park was handling the podcast, he used to make a lot of screw-ups, and even though he's not here,
You got rid of it.
the legend still lives on.
He taught you well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you do go re-download that episode, you do get the lovely, very interesting interview with Guillermo del Toro.
It's really good as well.
Yeah, he's a really interesting man.
Worth downloading twice.
I think it is. It is.
Yes.
Please listen to it.
Will that count as like extra listens, extra downloads for us,
will,
extra numbers?
Yes, do that.
Do it every week. So in fact, I did us a favour. You're welcome,
Okay.
guys. Absolutely
Right.
welcome.
Yeah, it's basically one with extras.
Another thing is rubbish. Spectre.
Such a sensationalist
Yeah, like,
headline-grabbing
rubbish.
fool.
Spectre's rubbish, but at least it's better than Casino Royale.
You idiot. I haven't even seen Spectre, but I'm still calling you an idiot.
Well, that completely. We've given it a good review on our website there.
Yeah.
Of 7.2. Okay. Rubbish.
Well,
Rubbish is an extreme.
So,
it is.
Gav.
Okay.
Well, let's.
Yeah.
He's made that statement. Back it up.
So I think I really, really like Skyfall because the thing I liked about Skyfall is it took a load of like themes and like tropes that you recognize from Bond films, but it used them in a really thoughtful and exciting way that I was like, this feels new. Like this feels like a new thing.
Yep.
Whereas Spectre takes all those things again and just literally parades them out in front of you.
It's like Bond by the numbers.
Skyfall
Exactly,
feels like
yeah.
new from old.
Yeah.
Like you take these old things, like they have the original Aston Martin.
Yeah.
They have there's a great scene in Skyfall where he goes to the bar,
Yeah.
gets a vodka martini, and you see the barman shaking it.
Yeah.
And he pours it, and Bond just goes perfect.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't do the line,
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
still
yeah,
have
yeah.
the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. Like, let's tick that box, but you're not capitulated to shaken, not stirred. It's again. Whereas this too often falls back into some of the
Like,
stuff
hey,
that I
Bond.
thought they were getting away from.
Yeah, like, hey Bond, I got a little something to show you, and he shows him like the DB10, DB9, well, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like this massive reveal.
I've
they
seen that.
walk
Was in
out-
the
it's in the
trailer.
trailer,
Or something.
yeah. And like the reveal of the watch that he gives him, and it's like, I thought we were past this.
So why do you think that happened? Because it's essentially the same.
It's the same writers as well.
I think it's an interesting, because I think it might be Craig's last one, and it tries to do something interesting, because we go back to Casino Royale, which we'll get onto in more detail. What they tried to do with Craig was do Bond, because all the continuity is obviously messed up on Bond in general. It
I got no problem
you
with
go
that.
with it, but just go back to the point was like they were trying to do like the early years of Bond, even though he's quite old. He's just become a 00 agent, and this is kind of the origin story, his first few missions, and he gets sucked into this thing. This tries to like bring all those films together and head to some kind of closure.
Yeah.
In a sense, I think it's like a remake of Quantum, because Quantum was about the shadowy organisation behind everything. Yeah. But then they've like kind of Scooby-Dooed you, and Quantum is actually just a sub-branch of Spectre.
Yeah.
They've retconned that, and that's not really in the film. That's something I've read online elsewhere.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
It's not even mentioned, really.
I think he might have also been in like seeded in last film a bit, like he was just a puppet of this other thing. So it's almost like you go down to another level.
Well, that's it. I think I saw someone say online yesterday. I thought actually that's kind of bang on. Like if if Skyfall is like the Dark Knight, and I think it is, like in that kind of like the Dark Knight is the best one, then this is like Dark Knight Rises, and it's like it's using the same kind of stuff that you recognize, but not in an interesting way at all, in a way that you feel like you've seen like a million times before. Exactly, kind of like in Batman Begins, where you kind of like, even though that was a good like origin story, it's kind of like it's still like Batman by the numbers. It was just really, really
I think, you know, first to say, it seems like we're in the relative minority on this. There's a lot of positive reviews for it coming out of the screening, because we went to the first screening on Wednesday night, and like overwhelmingly well reviewed.
Yeah. Although there was one review for like a UK broadsheet paper. So the screening finished at 9:30. His review went up 11:15. He's mulled that over, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like just stuck that straight up. Like
writing it halfway through the screening.
Oh man, if you read it, you're just like, he could have written this before.
Yeah.
He probably did. I'm saying he did.
But like just watching it, like the intro sequence is opens with this really amazing tracking shot. Like even people saying it through like the Day of the Dead in Mexico.
That's brilliant.
Bond going into a hotel room, and it just looks like, I think there's quite a few hidden edits in there.
Yeah.
But it never like catches fire for me. So I was watching it going, all right, I'm waiting for this to like get going.
Yeah.
It's quite far into the movie. It's like, no, it's never gonna
Really?
take off for me. Like, it looks great. I like Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
There's good moments within it. I like it's a big extended train sequence.
Yeah.
Some nice
Andrew
scenes.
Scott is brilliant.
Yeah, but it just
it was really
never
good.
takes off for me. Whereas and then
Wasn't
it's
that-
long as well.
We made that criticism, or certainly some people made that criticism of the trailer, though, is that it's an interesting trailer, but there's no wow moments.
Yeah.
And is that the same with the film overall?
Kind of, but at the same time, I went back and I watched. So last night I went back and I watched, because I absolutely love Skyfall. So I went back and watched all the Skyfall trailers that came out, and I kind of remember feeling the exact same thing about that, thinking,
Yeah.
But then it was
also-
something different.
I also just think structurally, there's something off about it, because there's no Silver. Javier Bardem was such a great villain. Really like push his buttons and manipulate and hit him where it hurt, like at home. And he's not close to many people. One of the few people he was close to ended up killing.
Yeah.
And a lot of this, that's not a spoiler. Get around to seeing it if you listen to it. There's no bad guy for a long while. It's like Bond doing detective work, just to go somewhere else, and eventually the villain is held back for quite a while. You get Dave Bautista, who played Drax, plays Hinks.
Mr. Hinks,
Mr. Hinks is like the strong man, just to give some kind of threat to Bond in these places, but it doesn't.
This is not, like, the thing,
He looks brilliant. He looks scary. He's huge.
Also, I think Christoph Waltz is amazing, but you're seeing him do things you've seen him do more and better.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
very nice, like talkative,
exactly,
sinister.
yeah. Like you can see they've looked at, they've looked at Inglourious Basterds and they've looked at Django and gone, oh, he'd be a really good Bond
Just really
villain.
articulate. Like, hello,
Like,
James.
just do the same thing. Do the same thing.
I rewatched Inglourious Basterds about a month ago.
Yeah.
And he's
That
so
opening
good in
scene,
that
man.
film. Oh my
Like, just
God.
that really long opening scene. Like,
And he does
so
that,
good.
and that's why you get him, I guess, because he's good at doing that thing. But
at the same time, he's a really smart dude. Like, he does something different. Like, even was it not Green Arrow? Green Hornet. Yeah. Like, he was still he was doing something kind of different with that, even though that's a rubbish film. But with this, I was just like, I've seen him do this, and some scenes he's in are just like rubbish. And like that awesome scene, the reveal when he walks into like Spectre's sort of lair. Like, I wish that wasn't in the trailer because it's such an interesting shot.
that scene where he turns and he goes, "Hello, James," and he does that is a great moment.
Yeah.
It would have been more impactful if you kept it. But I think that's because he's actually not in the film all that much.
No.
So when you cut in the trailer, you've got to use those bits, which have no impact.
I did our video review, so trying to find footage of Christoph Waltz to cover, like I had to cut lines of Tilly's script out because it's like there's nothing of him in the trailer. But I was thinking like, there's only that was all the scenes that he's in.
Yeah.
But there are good things as well. Like I really like Ray Fiennes M.
Yeah, he's really
quite
good.
a lot. And they get more to do. Like Chris made the point in his review that it gets a bit Mission Impossible at the end. It's like more of a team. It's not just Bond. Like he needs people, and I don't mind that.
I love
the final act because
I do love Ben Whishaw, but it's so underused in those films because he has these little the little funny bits. But then in this, like he actually goes out into the field.
way more than probably any Q before.
Yeah.
But he goes out into the field. They send him out to a really improbable place, and what does he do? Get his laptop out, and he's just like banging on his laptop on a ski lift.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And like, obviously, Bond has certain conventions and certain flights of fancy.
Yeah.
This run has tried to make it more realistic, but there is a bit of that, and Chris pointing this out. It's like there's scenes where he's like, "Where's he got that from?" Like, he just turns up in a helicopter. Where's he got this plane from?
Yeah. You made a really good point. It was just like Skyfall, they're on the run. It feels like they're on the run. They're still on the run, but they do like 9 costume changes.
Yeah,
where's he getting all these suits from?
Yeah, I know people really some people. I saw it on Twitter. People going, "Oh yeah, you like Skyfall?" It was just like Home Alone, wasn't it?
No, it's not.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. And also, Home Alone's a really good movie. But also, at the end, they're in a house and they rig some traps.
Yeah.
But what else would you do? If you're about to get assaulted, you would make some traps. Yeah. And it's also like it's like the end of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. That's one of the things about internet culture and stuff like that is someone will say something and it's funny, like making that observation is really funny, but that becomes the thing,
the reductive riposte.
Exactly. It's the same.
That's what it is.
We've talked about it before when we talk about like Assassin's Creed Unity. Yes, that had a lot of really famous bugs and a lot of people made really funny videos and stuff like that. Anytime you talk about Unity now, the only thing people talk about is like, oh, the eye popping out. Like, well done, mate. Well, you're really funny.
Imagine if you worked on that game and that's
it's like 2 years of your life
psychologically damaged.
All he remembers is
God, it's awful. But I mean,
it's funny though.
I think the point that we were making when we came out of the thing is I think people remember Casino Royale a little bit better than it actually is.
Okay, I haven't watched it for a while.
I've only ever watched it once. That was enough for me.
Come off it. Honestly.
You're throwing out these...
Right. I just remember being so bored.
I'd just like you to be quiet for 1 second.
Right, yeah.
I just want Daniel. How would you rank Craig's...
So I did this on Twitter the other night. I said Skyfall.
Yeah, of course.
I really like Skyfall. It's the best Bond film. So Craig's run Skyfall, Casino Royale, Spectre, Quantum.
Right.
I like Casino Royale. I don't think... So what we were discussing the other night, like... People really love Casino Royale. Yeah. Also great because what immediately came before it, the most preposterous, outlandish, ridiculous Bond film that almost drove this long-running franchise into the ground. Yeah. It was awful, like CGI excess, terrible. Like he was fighting a guy that had diamonds embedded in his face while windsurfing on a melting glacier. That is crazy. After having a fencing, after fencing with Madonna, crazy.
How did that get greenlit?
So obviously. That was around the time to contextualize it around the time of Jack Bauer, Jason Bourne. There's this drive to make Bond more realistic, more gritty. Casino Royale does a lot of that. Yeah. But if you go back and watch it, there's a lot of bits that I don't think date particularly well. No. Like you remember that guy on Channel 4 who used to do live post-mortems, like Gunther von Hagens, that German guy with the big hat. There's a scene in Casino Royale where James Bond goes to his exhibit. You know that guy used to plasticize bodies. There's a bit that's set within one of his exhibits, and maybe it's because I'm British and we know that guys that weird dude on Channel 4 used to take people apart on TV.
Take people apart.
And it's just this is a bit weird, just him walking around. And they do it because obviously it looks visually interesting and weird. Right. But they just that's a bit odd.
I don't remember that bit at all.
Yeah, and it's when he starts his heart again with the defibrillator in the car. And I don't know.
In the car as well, yeah.
But then there's some great scenes
that's not that bad.
But then there's some great scenes like when he fights in the alley and he gets the stairwell and gets really messed up and bloodied.
Hey, that's funny.
And he goes back to the hotel room and he has to continue with the card game. Yeah. And he looks like he's absolutely in pain. Yeah. The thing I don't like about Casino Royale, I think it's got a horribly confusing ending. With Vesper Lynd. You don't know what her allegiance is. So you can't really sympathise. You don't really know why he and they do clarify it a bit, but I feel like that's always been a bit fuzzy.
Yeah. That ending feels like it was
in
tacked
Venice
on
as well, where the Venice, the building's collapsing.
Yeah. It feels like it has no bearing on the rest of the film. That's the thing that I didn't understand.
You find out later on that she had a lover. It's it just throws you. But then obviously there's a great torture sequence where he's naked on the chair that's cut out, he's hitting his balls, and he's just I've got an itch, can you scratch it for me? And it's that is brilliant. That's such a great scene. I remember seeing that for the first time. People loved it
as well, and they're doing all the sort of
free running, and he just runs through the wall.
Oh, that was when parkour was big that year. So every film had a parkour scene.
You are such a tool. Right.
I need to watch it again.
So I do think people obviously it came at the right time and it did the right things. I think Skyfall is an incredible. I think it's the most well-made Bond film. Yeah. It's just brilliant looking film, great villain, and I think it just, like we were saying earlier, it does a lot of things with those tired elements to make it feel
I don't think
contemporary.
You can call Casino Royale rubbish.
No, okay. I was being silly.
Right. Quantum of Solace, absolutely.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
It's really funny, I think, to, like when it comes out and more people discuss more of the parallels, or when it comes out on Blu-ray, like we should do a comparison, because it's really funny, because in this movie, like we said, it wants to draw together all of Craig's run.
Yeah.
And it's more than happy. Like, this is not a spoiler. It's, you know, it's about all of stuff, bad things that have happened to Craig. Yeah. So they obviously mentioned Le Chiffre, played by Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah. I think they love the fact that he's become really famous since that movie, because they have no problem like showing a picture of him. Whereas the bad guy in Quantum of Solace,
I can't even remember who it was.
Dominic Green.
He's really good.
What did he play?
Like the head of Quantum.
I have no idea what he is.
The head of Quantum. I don't know. He killed Gemma Arterton. And he like dipped her in oil.
Oh yeah, that was really good. I like that.
That was really good.
No, it's a good death.
Dipped in oil.
It's a good death. Talk about talk about the bit that you hated from.
So there's
Spectre.
one bit in Spectre, and again, I ran this by before the podcast. This is not a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler.
But if you don't want to hear anything, just maybe skip forward 20 seconds. Yeah. There's a scene in the movie, I'm not going to say when, it involves Bond and the Bond girl jumping from a great height. And then, like, as it's happening, I was like, oh, wow, like, they're going to fall into, like, what's he done here? They're going to fall into war. They fall into a net. And he just
there.
And I think apparently early in the scene, he like when he's walking into the building, he registers this net. Yeah. But because I don't know, I mean, I was just tired or something. But when they fall into the net, it just completely took me out of the movie. It was like, I just watched the stunt. Yeah. That's actually probably how they did the stunt. Yeah. They probably fell into that net. And it's just so weird.
Because I saw him look at the net.
Very kind of
no, dramatic.
But it was funny because I saw him look at the net earlier, I thought, oh well, that's going to happen. But because you kind of missed that when you saw it, like it was awesome sitting next to you at the cinema because you were just like, what? You're like, yeah, that's how they do that stunt.
I was just like, oh, they've just not bothered to take that out now.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
But, the fact that they have to tee it up with a kind of little, I've seen that.
He literally does that, yeah.
Right, yeah, that's a bit.
Yeah. I generally think, because I've seen like, a lot of other reviews and stuff like that, I think people who... I guess like Bond apologists, people would be like, "Oh, you've got to have that, and you've got to have you've got to have the watch, you've got to have the car. That's just part of Bond." People who think that are really going to like Spectre, I think, because
it's a really well done version of that. Like
it costs 275 million. Like anything that costs 275 million is going to be good to watch.
If Skyfall was like Mendes playing with those conventions, this is him going, "I'll have a go at doing it proper,"
which is sad.
Like making it by the books.
Yeah.
But it's a shame after something like Skyfall.
Maybe just talk about. If it is his last one, what do they do next?
Yeah. Don't know.
Because we live in a time where, like, continuous movies are more of a thing. Like, people with Marvel really and Star Wars really know what, like, the next one should follow on. Yeah. Whereas Bond, what will they expect? Because obviously it can't continue because that's not how Bond functions. You have to, like, find a different pocket to tell or a different take on it. Like,
I don't know.
Like,
I'll do it
because I do think loads of people.
Are you going to be the next Bond?
Yeah, all right.
Right, what's happening here?
Rodri Bond,
Welsh Bond. I say Bond. My name's James Bond in Welsh.
Benny Bond, James Bond. That's pretty good actually.
I think you have to get rid of the beard.
Huh?
You have to get rid of the beard.
He had a bit of a beard in Skyfall.
Yeah, bit of a beard. And that's just like when he was like just up in the wilderness.
That's when he's at like rock bottom. Yeah, that's when
basically that's the show.
That's I show you I'm at rock bottom.
That was a visual indicator of nascent alcoholism. So what the fuck is that?
Well, here we are.
Let's talk about some positive things, or whatever that says on your piece of paper.
Ardderchog.
There you go.
Means excellent in Welsh.
It's from The Hobbit.
Yeah. Well, it's the oldest language in the world.
No, it's not.
What?
It's the oldest European language.
That's Sumerian.
Well, yeah, it's oldest European language, but that's not where The Hobbit was filmed. Anyway, Ardderchog. What's Ardderchog?
It's like brilliant.
Excellent.
What is it? What does it actually mean?
Excellent. It means excellent.
Oh, so no, it actually has an equivalent.
Yeah.
Let's get on with it then.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed. It's out today.
Excellent.
Good.
It
is.
Or is it great?
It's great. Okay. I reviewed Assassin's Creed.
You put it under excellent.
Well, I didn't do that. I don't even know what that says. Ardderchog.
Have a go at saying it properly.
Orachog.
Nice. Well, I love that.
Okay. I reviewed Assassin's Creed Syndicate, set in old London town this week.
8.2 is not quite high enough score.
That's what a lot of people have been telling me. 8.2, descriptor on IGN, great. That's not high enough for me.
Someone tweeted you saying that.
So yeah, basically like great. That 8.2 isn't a very good score for me. Literally, our description is great.
I don't care.
I've said I say so many things I like about that game in that review.
I love the fact that it's not good enough for me.
And the weird thing about it was, I played it a lot over the weekend, and initially I was like, it's quite a big game to get through quick. I was like, I'm quite enjoying this. Am I enjoying this? Like, is this okay? I'm quite enjoying this Assassin's Creed game quite a lot. This is really fun. And I said to you yesterday, Alex, like when you review a game, usually when you file the review and it's published, don't go back to that game. No. I definitely am going to go back and like polish up, like clean up little missions and go around, finish off little bits because it's really fun. Yeah. So, why is it fun? If you scratch beneath the surface, what you're doing is the same stuff essentially. You're tracking people, you're stealing things, you're assassinating people, you're stabbing people.
But that's why people buy that game.
But the wrapper of it, like London and the characters, really make that interesting. You're doing cool stuff with cool characters in a cool location. Like you're like smashing up drug dens with Charles Darwin. You're investigating and exposing fraudsters in haunted houses with Charles Dickens.
That's funny.
That's brilliant. There's like supernatural missions. There's one mission where you have basically your own little ghost story, right? Where you're not really sure what happened. Yeah. That's really interesting. And the two characters I think are great. And one of the reasons I like it is so Jacob and Evie, they made a big deal. The brother and sister, the twins. You can switch between them at any time. And Evie is like the devout assassin. What she really wants to do is go to tombs and find relics in London. So there's missions you do with her early on where you go to like St. Paul's Cathedral and it opens up and you go down to a tomb. And her brother Jacob, basically I think he's like the voice of the player. He goes, oh God, this is boring. Yeah. I don't want to be doing this. And the game kind of then segues and goes, right, we're not doing this because Jacob's like, this is tedious. I don't want to be looking for these pieces of Eden for all my life. And he's like, we've got these amazing powers and skills. Look at these people that have taken over our city. Let's take it back from them. And you, through the game, you can build up a gang, which is really cool. If you free an area, if you then walk through the area, you can see like men and women called the Rooks that you can hire, and they'll join you and like they'll go into battle with you. And it's
like gangs in New York.
Yeah, and it's about dismantling. Yeah, there's scenes like that where if you like, for instance, in like Lambeth, if you like depose like all the like key like the sub-Templars, you can instigate something called a gang war. Right. And then basically you meet on a certain street at a certain time and you just like there's two sides and you just like stroll up to each other and they just have a massive fight. Really? And it's brilliant. It's really fun.
That sounds like fun.
And he's like more like, let's just take back the city. And it's really good because with big open world games, I think a lot of the stuff you do is meaningless. Whereas here, pretty much everything you can do, apart from a few collectibles, is like you're chipping away at the power structure. And like just taking back the world. And also, it's kind of leveled and like kind of death gated a bit. So Westminster is level 9. So if you go in there early on, police will just kick your ass and you won't be able to kill anyone. So you have to like work your way up from like the more impoverished from like Lambeth, Southwark, Whitechapel, and slightly get like to the. And it's really fun.
It's really cool. It sounds really good.
It's the first Assassin's Creed game since. I know a lot of people love Black Flag. Really, the only reason
I didn't like sailing.
Black Flag. Well, I don't like sailing.
I did.
But the only reason, the only reason I like Black Flag is because it was
Welsh guy.
Of the few games that was out on Next Gen at the time.
And there's a Welsh guy in there.
I didn't realise there was a Welsh guy in there.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Is he? Did he? Oh, you.
I can't say. But also, what's
is Spring Heel Jack in there?
Spring Heel Jack is in it. You hunt him with Charles Dickens.
Is it a good depiction of him?
Yeah. You chase him across rooftops, and he's got like a little devil's mask on. And he disappears into smoke. It's really good. Okay, like that's the thing. What you're doing, you're running across rooftops, but they make it fun. It's a cool, fun setting, and then you've got like a grapple gun. So I went to see the game being made back in April, and I thought, is that going to ruin it? Is that going to make it like Batman? And it's not. It's well implemented because you can't use it anywhere. You have to get close to the side of a building. And it's basically to get over the problem of these buildings being much higher. And it would be so boring to climb up to the top of them. So you just go from street to rooftop. But once you're on rooftop, you're still running. So, you know, there's a few niggly problems with navigation.
I really like the way that they slide, like push themselves and then they slide
and it's not like
push themselves
super fast where you're gliding across the city. You're still running.
Grounded in a semi-reality. quality.
Yeah, and pleasant surprise that.
Hurrah!
I think I might actually play it.
Yeah, and I think
when I finally finish.
I don't think if you're not into that franchise, it's got a bad ending because the ending is like it has to incorporate more of the lore and stuff. But and so obviously people are into that. Love that, because I dip in and dip out of that series.
Yeah.
Like last year I reviewed Rogue, which is the most kind of I think dense in that lore because it's like really about joining a lot of the dots of Templars. It's the one that came out on last gen only last year.
Oh, that's right.
I remember. And that's the one that's really like the opposite of this one. That's really like trying to connect all these characters, and it's going to like America and the Caribbean.
Oh, but that's like, a slog.
It was. Whereas this has fun with it. Okay. And it's like a great example of this. There's a mission where you have to rescue the dog of the Prime Minister's wife, and the dog is called Desmond.
Really?
Yeah.
Funny.
So
nice.
Good.
Gav?
My other Ardderchog, my thing that's Ardderchog is we got Vin Diesel in the studio last Friday.
Yeah.
And it was one of the best days of my life.
Really?
Like, he was awesome.
Right.
He's coming in to talk about The Last Witch Hunter, which
is now out.
Is now out.
Oh, well.
Have we reviewed on the site?
Yes, gave it a 5.
A 5. I think, like, if you're a fan of Vin Diesel, and I honestly think the man can do no wrong, which maybe I probably was the right person
maybe
definitely not to review that.
You'd be like, he's one of these Vin Diesel apologists.
Like, I just think...
You really make no sense sometimes.
I think he's really fun. He's really fun to watch. I just think I love watching him. I don't know, there's something about him. Yeah. There's something about the man that I'm in love with.
It's fair to say, you're not alone. The man has 92 million people who like him on Facebook. There's more than people in this country.
Do you know what?
More than people by a third.
His Facebook is one of the things that I love about him. Yeah. Like, there was a time, not at this job, but a job that I cared less about, when I would check his Facebook hours before I would check my work emails in the day, because I'd like to see his update, and the updates that he puts up on there are incredible.
He's very unfiltered. Like, you get a lot of him, whatever that is. Like.
So just before he came into the studio, his social media girl, the girl who puts up all this stuff, was there. She had her own camera and stuff, and she was like, "Oh, I do Vin's social media." I was like, Do you do his Facebook stuff? She was like, yeah, I do all that. And I was just like, I had to stop myself from hugging her, because like the stuff that he puts up, like he puts up a video of him dancing to a Katy Perry song. Yeah. But like he doesn't put up like 10 seconds of him dancing to a Katy Perry song. He puts up the video where he walks over to his computer and he presses record. Then he walks away from his computer. The song starts. He starts. He dances for the entire thing, and then he also puts up the video when he walks back to his computer. Press stop on the record, and like he puts that all up. Like he'll put up like just a video of him like singing in his house, just doing an entire like really really high pitched like love song. Like he's like does all the eyes. He's closing his eyes. He's like making love to you with his voice. Oh, and I just think like the man's amazing.
He's a super nerd as well.
Yeah, he's a huge nerd.
There's a great video on his Facebook where he goes to the Nerdist and he plays Dungeons and Dragons with him. He's a massive Dungeons and Dragons fan, and he starts talking about in like really dense terminology. He's like, we just did some critical roles and all this stuff. I don't play D&D, but he's like massively into it.
We're gonna have a video going up next week of him talking to me about it as well. Like, because I was like asked him for his tips on like a perfect game of Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, he's talked for ages. Yeah, like I could have talked to him for ages about that if I'd known more about Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, but he's just, I don't know. We'd heard like some stories that maybe he was quite like a spiky man on set and things like that. Yeah. So we really didn't know what to expect, and I don't think it could have gone better. It's definitely charming. It's 100% the best interview I've ever done because it was the most fun I've ever had doing an interview. I think
you got your face on his Instagram. Did you?
And like so, I woke up on Saturday morning. With like a disgusting hangover and
pattern. Exactly. This is the problem. It's impossible not to be able to record the podcast with you without hanging.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I was making a cup of tea and my phone was on the couch and it went. It made a noise and I was like, oh, that's nice. I'll probably check that in a second. Then it made another noise. Then it made another noise. Then and it started going bonkers because Vin Diesel basically is here. But there's Krupa's mum made him this amazing dancing Groot, and obviously Vin Diesel plays Groot. And halfway through the interview, I got it out to show him, and he lost his shit.
Really?
Yeah. So he went mad about it. He was just like, "Oh my god, that's incredible!"
Singing.
He started singing.
Did he start singing?
He was singing the Weeknd song "Can't Feel My Face," but about Groot. He started doing that, and then he took out his phone. And like, if you think, like, I watch the man's social media updates every single day. Yeah. He took out his phone, and in my head, I was like, is he gonna record one of his social media updates? And he fucking did, didn't he? So he got a video. He was like, "Gav, come here." I was like, "Whoa!"
You can tell you like,
You're almost in tears. There.
I know. Like he said, "Gav, come here," and I was just like, it just meant so much to me. And he was like, he recorded this little video of him with a thing, and he was like, "Where did you get this from?" And I explained the Kruger's mum made it for him. He calls it the IGN radio show, but it doesn't matter.
he was here doing a radio drop.
And like, no, doesn't matter.
It is now. We're now a radio.
We do radio stuff now. We're not doing anything else because Vin Diesel says. Then he recorded it, and I thought, well, that might not go anywhere. But then on Saturday morning, my phone started going mad, and people were like, I think it was someone who listens to the IGN UK podcast actually, who's also a fan of Vin Diesel,
right? Added
me in and was just like, "By the way, have you seen this? This is amazing." And I was like, "Yes, I have," and it's the best day of my life. It was good. How would you follow that?
Don't know. I went to Discover Dogs.
It's good.
Yeah, it was good.
Any good dogs?
I can't believe you went to a dog expo.
Why not?
Because I just don't get
I think it's amazing.
I like dogs.
But going to an expo where you just stroke dogs.
But that's the thing. Like, we're not in situations where we could own a dog ever yet. So like, to have access.
Thankfully, they don't do child expos. I don't have children, but I want to go and see a child.
I think you do, like South America and stuff.
In China.
But that's the thing. To have access to that many dogs, and
access is a weird way to say it. I don't know if you know what it was. Like, you're making it sound weird.
Is it like that film 8mm?
Yeah,
like, it feels like that.
It was pitch black.
There's a guy called
And they went, what band of ticket did you get? I said, I got the platinum. Right, you've got access to all the dogs. Does this include terriers? Yeah, it includes terriers. Right, what about the toy breeds?
Like,
that's more. That's more, sir.
Stop this.
This is awful.
Right, just talk about Mad Men burgers quickly. I don't even know what this is. It's just a burger that you like.
Well,
it is, isn't it?
No, listen.
What Gav ate this week?
By looking at me, you might be able to tell that I quite like burgers. But
it's some in your beard.
We there's a chain of burgers that we particularly enjoy called Honest Burgers, and they're doing a burger themed around Mad Men.
Yeah.
Because the last series is coming out, and I went to their launch thing the other day, and they had a lot of burgers. So I'm not explaining it very well. I'm just thinking about the dogs.
I just think what you're explaining is you going to some place and eating burgers.
Yeah.
Well, I got that.
I thought you guys would be interested.
What's on the burger?
Why is it Mad Men themed?
This is the thing. I don't know. It's because it was just like a lot of them.
It's got like bourbon in the recipe.
Yeah, I think in the
it's
cheese.
unfaithful.
Yeah, nice. But
other people eat it.
Yeah.
To share with the person next to you.
But no, it was to talk,
and so on.
It was to celebrate the. I don't know what the link is. I think because in the last series he's talking about this burger chef thing, so I think they've gone burgers. That's the thing. But I rewatched like a lot of the last couple of episodes. I rewatched the last episode and. I think it's probably one of my favourite last episodes of a series, I think. So that
what's that got to do with burgers, though?
No, absolutely nothing, no.
Okay, but you had a nice burger.
But I had a nice burger, yeah.
Yeah, the last burger you had was nice, too.
What was the last burger?
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
What's your favourite burger?
What, in London?
Yeah.
Oh.
Gotta be honest.
I think Honest Burger, obviously, is high up there, because we go there a lot, and I enjoyed the tribute burger, but I also enjoy sampling the special.
We go every month.
I do get excited when I find out what the special is each month, and then get a bit crestfallen if it's something I don't like. Yeah. Never had the Christmas burger. We should definitely do that.
We should do that.
I had it last year. Did you not have it?
Breaded camembert. No.
Me and Bear Park had the Christmas burger. It was really good.
And it's a shame he's no longer with us.
They used to do a Welsh burger. And it was really, really good. Like different Welsh cheese, Welsh onions.
Welsh onions.
Even if it tasted like crap, you'd say it was really, really good.
Absolutely.
Welsh bread.
Yeah, Welsh bread.
What else? What are the burgers that I do like? I do like the kind of standard, like the really kind of what's it called, meat liquor, where it's kind of like a brioche bun. And it's like steamed. Greasy. No, I think that's a misnomer. This misnomer.
I think it's too greasy. I think I
like the patty that's been like fried in like French's mustard. I like that, very American style. In-N-Out burger was good when we had it.
That was good.
I've
never had an In-N-Out burger.
we had so much food for like $11 or something.
Really?
Yeah, because the next night we went to a diner when we were in San Francisco, and it was 4 times the price.
Yeah, I think
it was terrible
crazy
in comparison.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We just go In-N-Out burger.
Totally.
Hasn't it got like a crazy like secret menu as well?
Well, no, it's just like one. You can ask for anything animal style,
Right?
And they just put loads of burger sauce on it.
Right.
But I think there's an actual secret menu as well. Like it's like a community or like cult, basically.
I think it's just like the 3 things you can get in 3 different ways.
Oh, right, okay.
I spoke to Todd about it. Actually.
I'm so hungry. I could eat an In-N-Out burger right now.
There's not one.
weird how-
Five Guys is
I've
quite
never
good.
done.
It's weird.
Never had Five Guys.
Let's go lunch.
I can't.
We can.
All right.
So let's get burgers.
But the part is that A, it's good burgers, but B, it's super cheap. Whereas
Right.
Five Guys is pretty expensive.
Five Guys is pretty expensive.
So-
I think Honest is pretty good. Honest is like a tenner for the burger. We got
I love the chips.
Yeah, the chips are
those
incredible.
chips.
Well, you can get Five Guys for a burger and chips for under 10 quid.
Really?
But it's just like, and that's a double burger.
The chips are shit at Five Guys, I think.
No, they're not with the Cajun
Nah, I don't like that.
I love that.
I'd rather have the triple cooked rosemary chips at Honest, I think.
Well, then
We'll go there.
we'll go there. That's the solution.
One place, you go to the other. Yeah.
We'll meet in the middle.
Unbelievable.
And kiss.
Shake
You
Shack.
go get you got the chips.
Shake Shack is opening up on near our old office.
I think that was expensive for a very McDonald's style
Really?
burger, small.
And also, my arse fell out after eating.
What did you get?
Oh, I can't remember.
The horse out burger.
The arse burger, yes. An hour is literally pouring.
In-N-Out burger.
I tell you what, my arse has never fallen out after an Honest burger.
Good. All right.
Okay, on to Arglwydd Gok.
What's that mean?
Like, Jesus, cock. Like bad stuff.
Why
Arglwydd
would
Gok.
that
What?
sounds
Arglwydd
good.
Gok.
Why is Jesus
That'd be a good
cock
thing.
bad?
It's like, Jesus Christ.
But why
Like-
cock?
Dunno.
I think
It's just a saying.
Welsh should take a look at herself and like understand what that
Good
is.
hard look at yourself in the mirror.
Because like up north, like all right, cock. That's like a term of endearment.
Yeah.
Well, is it more cocker?
No, all right, cock.
Is it? All right.
You're thinking a guy cocker.
Maybe.
That's different. He's northern as well.
Is
That's
he?
a different thing.
I bet he loves that. People
What?
saying, all right, yeah, that's my name. No, I'm just
All right,
being
cock.
northern.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Maybe cocker's more of a sort of landy thing.
what's rubbish this week?
Anyway,
Crimson Peak.
Are you talking about the interview again? Look, I apologise they didn't go in the podcast.
Why didn't it do very well at the box
yes,
office?
Gav.
That's not my fault.
That's on you.
Oh, relax.
The big budget horror film is down to you and you only.
Who's the kind of audience that will go see this movie? Our audience.
No, because they didn't hear about it, did they? It's just
Well,
like,
that's
this sounds
exactly the
shit.
point. That's exactly the point.
Maybe they thought we were making a joke about it. Be like, oh, you're us talking about how good Crimson Peak is. 50 minutes of silence.
Here's a new feature, Weekly Charades. Go and watch the podcast.
I think it's sad.
It didn't do very well at the box office.
It's 12.8 million in its
it's
first
not
weekend.
very good, is it? I
Kind of
think
expected though, right?
£12 million though, that's loads.
I think that's a marketing. You'd love that. Let's face it, we all love that. I'd be well chuffed with that.
How much?
That's what you should
Imagine
say
you
to
came
them.
in on the weekend and when Alex, I made 12.8
million on the
pounds
weekend.
for IGN. You'd be well happy with that.
Yeah,
Take that to
you,
the boss.
but you spent 150 million.
Yeah.
Is that how much it was?
I don't know.
It can't have cost that much to make.
I guess when you bundle in marketing, 'cause it's supposed to be. That does sound really expensive, but I'm not sure.
Well, let's fill this. And I'll
You feel
check
this,
what we're
right?
doing,
So
yeah. Why is it bad that it's not made any money?
I don't think it's that bad that it's not made loads of money. Obviously, it's bad for Guillermo del Toro because I think this will affect future projects.
Yes.
And but maybe it's not bad for him because it will mean he'll go and make
back
the
to
type of film that will actually get the best of his creativity.
Yeah.
I think we got a sense from when we speak to him, if you go back and listen to the interview and re-download it.
Oh, fuck off.
When we spoke to him about this movie, there's an elephant in the room. They all want to market this as a horror movie.
Yeah.
Look at his scary ghost. Look at his big creepy haunted house. It's not a horror movie.
Right.
It's a gothic romance, which is really quite a niche cinematic genre that I think most contemporary audiences would find a bit dull.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's got certain conventions
Is it
that...
not like Twilight?
No.
Oh.
Like, modern audience is just not very well versed. Like, it's just not a thing that happens much. Like Rebecca or like even older stuff like
I think that's the problem. He's trying to make a film like that.
He's making a film for himself.
But he's Guillermo del Toro.
But he's
so
very
like,
obvious. He's very honest about it. It's like, I'm making a film for myself. I'm a nerd. I love this stuff. I made a film that I would like.
Right.
I don't think that film plays wider.
No,
and I think if people see it, they're not going to recommend it.
No.
Because especially if you're going in as a horror crowd.
So if the director is saying it's not going to appeal to a broad audience, how does that stuff get greenlit? That seems a bit crazy. Well, especially not only just greenlit, but big stars assigned to it, probably quite a big budget. That seems insane.
$55 million.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. That's how much it costs. It's made 16.
Yeah,
right
like Chris says, with the death of the big budget horror, and I think that will hurt. Like, you know, the project that Guillermo del Toro has wanted to make for years is Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness.
It's never going to happen.
Which would necessitate a lot of money because.
Yeah.
You know, you're depicting things beyond imagination. That's the whole point of Lovecraft's work. Stripping down reality. That'd be a lot of money. Yeah. So you won't be able to do that. But on the whole, I think horror is the one genre that truly benefits from not much money.
Yeah.
Like, less is more. Like, It Follows wouldn't have cost much money. The great example, for many, many years, the most profitable film ever made was John Carpenter's Halloween. They made it in like 3 weeks for a few $1,000s. A bunch of, essentially, kids, film students and kids. And they made one of the most effective, brilliant, enduring horror movies ever made. And it made loads and loads of money because immediately you're into profit.
Yeah.
Like, you're immediately into profit.
Yeah.
That has got such a burden before it even opens.
Yeah, which is, I mean, you can kind of see why they're advertising it like they did, which is like as, like, basically The Woman in Black.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like that.
No, like, lots of, like, you and I really liked it. We liked it much more than Chris. But things I like about it.
Chris likes weird horror films, though. Like, if it hasn't got incest in it, he doesn't like it.
or twins.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a huge shame. Yeah, we might not see that Lovecraft movie, but, you know, got a great Lovecraft game in Bloodborne. So if you want that, like, that's probably one of the best adaptations of Lovecraft I've ever played or like seen. I don't think it's a shame. I think it's cool if he goes back and makes lower budget horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. What is also Agloid Gok, Alex?
Well, I put Triforce Heroes on there.
Not very good.
The game's great, but not if you play it on your own.
Oh, okay.
And
we give it an 8.5.
Yeah. And as a big Zelda fan, I couldn't wait to play it. But it absolutely hinges on you playing local co-op with 2 other people.
Right.
Which is, when on earth is that going to happen?
3DSs.
Apart from maybe if we happen to sit on the same plane and go somewhere.
Yeah.
On holiday.
Yeah, on the way to Paris.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Well, good. I'm very pleased for you. But for someone who lives a solitary life like myself.
Yeah.
So the way it works, or the way it should work, is that you're all working together to solve these puzzles at the same time. But in single player, you have to manually switch between the characters. So you're only ever controlling one, and then the other links, or whatever you want to call them, sort of freeze. And then oh man, it's just painful.
It must take ages.
It does take ages. Even the simplest of puzzles take ages.
That's really laborious.
Because fundamentally, it's a game that's not designed to be played.
It's not like Lost Vikings. That is a game.
That is a game.
Like, uniformly, just the first thing we've ever agreed on. That's a game.
Yeah.
But the beauty of Lost Vikings is that they all had individual skills.
Yeah.
There was a reason from switching to one to the other. This, you do all the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I've got to get up there. Oh, the 3 of you got to stand each other's heads to kind of reach up there, which is like, okay.
Yeah.
Which, if you're doing that quickly and then moving on, it would be fine. But you can't do it quickly in single player.
I really want to play Lost Vikings.
There was an X-Men game that was like that as well. Do you remember that? No. There was an X-Men game where you could switch between different characters because everyone did different things.
That's really... What's the last game that kind of had that?
I think it was like Wolverine was like, if you had a fight, you got Wolverine in. Nightcrawler went through different things, so you could do
that's
that.
Good.
And I think Storm
What were the
flew.
3 Vikings? Like, one with a shield that you could, like, lift up and, like, use him as a platform.
Yeah.
And, like, stop enemies. There's one guy who's fast and can jump. Is there one guy who had, like, arrows or something? You need someone who can attack.
One guy was fast. One guy was kind
like
of
fat and they had a shield.
And another one.
Must be one to attack.
Like us.
Yeah.
Which one am I? Fat one, is that what you're saying? Unbelievable.
You've literally done a section on how much you like burgers. You bring it all on yourself.
So, long story short,
Eight Lost Vikings.
If you've got friends, play Triforce Heroes. If not, play Lost Vikings. Yeah.
Rubbish.
Yeah, or Jesus' cock.
Arglwydd Goc.
Okay, sure.
Also Arglwydd Goc. Alan Tudyk.
Unbelievable.
I told myself I wasn't going to do that. Alan Tudyk.
Is that really how you say his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not Tudyk.
No, it's Tudyk. I checked on YouTube.
With whom?
What did you Google?
With whom?
Yeah.
There's a man in Mexico.
I was here for a while.
My name's Alan.
There is a man in Mexico.
There's loads of men in Mexico.
Has case of the Allens.
Listen, so Alan Tudyk, who is like really well known for Firefly, but also is going to be in Rogue One. Like, he's going to have a big part in Rogue One. He's also the robot in iRobot. Come on. He's also the robot from iRobot. He's in a bunch of stuff. You recognise him.
He's an actor. He's worked.
Yes. So he's doing a new show called Con Man, which is like, obviously, this guy does a lot of sci-fi stuff. He goes to a lot of like comic book conventions and stuff. So from doing these over the years, he obviously got a lot of stories. So he turned it into like an online series. And it's like, I hadn't even heard about it, but it's like one of the fastest funded, fastest like independent things to get to 1 million.
Yeah.
On whatever they use to like fund it, but it's going to be like on Vimeo and stuff. I haven't watched that much of it, but I was interviewing him and I noticed Nolan North was in the trailer. So I asked him when I was talking to him, I was like, oh, like we're really big fans of Nolan North. We had him in the studio the other day, did some funny videos with him. Like, how did that come about? And from nowhere then he starts talking about, he was like, oh, well, I knew him from, I worked on like what's the Young Justice League show? Where they really
Teen Titans.
No, I can't remember. But they worked on something together anyway,
right.
Doing voiceover stuff. And he was like, then he worked on Uncharted 4. So he said, oh, I worked on Uncharted 4 with Nolan. And I was like, oh, so me assuming he's worked on the one that we're, gonna get. But actually, it turns out he worked on the one that Todd Stashwick was also involved with. He was the guy who did the very first Uncharted 4 trailer. He was the guy who did the voice for that. And he worked on that one, and the one that like sort of fell apart and they walked away from.
Yeah.
So I kind of like, I didn't even know this. And I was like, that's a pretty big name to be working on it.
Yeah.
So I asked him like, why you walked away and stuff. And there's a bit in the interview where he kind of goes, and unfortunately it was on the phone, it wasn't a video one, but so I didn't really put it in the news story or anything. But there's a bit where he goes, I quit. And it's just like, you obviously didn't quit.
Yeah.
Like, it was obviously, and I was like, well, what was going on? And he really wasn't going into too much detail, but he was like, they were making some weird changes to that game, and we used that opportunity when they changed like their head. So I think like Amy Hennig walked away, didn't she?
Yeah.
So when they did that made his contract null and void, so he could take that opportunity then to walk away from it. But I was like, why would you walk away from that? And he was just like, you didn't hear about the changes they were making. What were they doing?
Yeah.
What were they doing on this game that would force like really big names to walk away from it?
Or just getting rid of their parts.
Yeah.
But yeah,
well, a lot of stuff changed. We were in San Francisco when that all happened. The Amy Hennig stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's a couple of years ago now.
It was, yeah.
I think we were having a party.
Yeah.
Rich was doing magic.
What about it?
The office, yeah.
You're like, fuck you, Hennig.
It was one of those sobering moments. But I think it happened quite...
The party was already underway, to clarify.
But then it was just like, suddenly, a lot of people started getting serious and running around.
Why does this always happen? Why is this always happening when IGN are having like parties or we're doing away days? And the last away day, this is amazing, right? This is amazing. So every year IGN has a summit for the all editorial team. We go away, do something. So we were in this place in California, this hotel, like this really picturesque little village thing, and we're all having drinks in someone's room. Like, there's an official party, so everyone was there. We're all getting quite drunk, and then midway through the party, someone goes, "Marvel just got the rights back to Spider-Man." We're like,
serious?
Yeah, and we're like, no. Yeah. Like, literally, everyone's there. They're like, what do we do? What do we do?
But and then like, we're like back at base or anything.
Yeah,
like
so we just like brought down this hotel room and set up a studio in this hotel room and filmed something.
Studio is a very
we put some lamps high up.
Yeah. The lamp was funny because there's a standing lamp there.
Yeah.
And somebody took the top off and then was holding it to try and point it in their faces. And like we were sort of just watching.
I just went outside on a beer.
Yeah, I would have hated to be in that room because like I've been at things before. Like I worked in sports news for a good long while, and when stuff would break like that, the people who get in a flap are the worst people in the world, because it's just we're good. I think when we've been at E3 and stuff, when stuff is broken, it's just like, oh, that's broken. Now we have to do this. Yeah. Whereas there's a lot of people in the world who aren't like that, and the way that they deal with breaking news and stuff like that is to go in a flap and really flap about. And I can imagine there was a lot of people flapping about.
Well, alcohol doesn't help as well.
Just a lot of people in that room.
Yeah, right. There's like everyone.
Did he sit on the sofa? I can't remember.
I don't think he did.
But I was the same as you. I was like, I'm finding this
I've had
just
too
a
much to
little bit
drink.
too funny, so I have to stand outside.
I think I remember what I remember doing when it was like, we need to be quiet. I was like, no. I remember just going to the cooler, getting 2 beers, and just going outside.
I do feel sorry for the 2 guys that were on. So it was definitely Jim. It was definitely Eric.
I think Joshua as well.
Right, that's right. But you had probably 30 people all watching them.
And all people having opinions on that stuff as well.
Yeah, horrible. Was it shot on an iPhone?
No, I think we got a proper camera down. We did like a thing like for Twitter where everyone was like, "Whoa, Spider-Man."
Yeah,
that's drunk.
Yeah,
good piece of this.
Swings around about.
Well, anyway, people that walked away. Anyway, that is sad that Alan Tudyk has walked away from Uncharted 4. Speaking of bad things, imagine. Well, look. Basically, this is a section called Desert Island Discs, but we can't call it Desert Island Discs. So I've come up with some really, really good alternatives.
Okay.
Are they Welsh ones?
Are you what's she called? The woman who presents it, Kirsty
Allsop?
No, it's not.
It's not Kirsty Allsop.
Gallagher.
She does. It's not Kirsty Gallagher.
Kirsty Ali.
Right. Somebody else. Anyway, end of the worldly goods. Oh, come on, that's good.
Is this what you've been doing all week?
Yes.
Okay.
Worldly goods.
End of worldly goods.
Give me a Welsh alternative in a second, so you've got about 10 seconds to think of it.
Is that Welsh?
Yeah. Post-apocalyptic possessions.
What is that?
That's good. The 3 things. The world ends tomorrow.
Okay.
But you survive it.
Okay.
Right?
Laura Tush.
What's that mean?
Down the hole. What would you take with you down the hole?
I don't want to know about that.
Laura Tush. What would you take down your hole?
French bulldog.
What would you take?
Anyway, I'm going to tell you that.
All right.
Now, so I'm making some assumptions here.
Okay.
I'm assuming that my family is given the invite to survive with me.
Oh, does this happen on Desert Island Discs? You get on Desert Island Discs, you get the Bible and the entire works of Shakespeare.
Is it?
I think those are the 2 things you get. Like,
why are you getting the Bible?
Don't know.
Can I get a different book?
King James. No! Oh my god.
It's not a library.
Can I get a different island?
Well, look, I'm making an assumption that my family is there already, because that's where they spend most of the times, on a desert island or in a.
Yeah, because if you've got to take 3 things, that's it. You're done, mate.
Well, no, because my family is one thing. Anyway. First thing I would take is a fucking great big box of Lego. Because, and I'm talking about a really big box of Lego, like maybe a crate, because not only can I just make anything I want, but if I want to make a chair, just make it out of Lego.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, if I want to make a house.
I don't think I would have.
When was the last time you used Lego as not like Lego, like the Lego that we use, though? It's not fun, man.
At the weekend, yes, it is.
Really?
Like, yeah, I bought.
You've got a kid though. You've seen it through a kid's eyes.
But I know.
What about when she grows up?
I know what you mean. Like, it's hard to go put the instruction books to the side and make anything your imagination. But it is fun.
But okay, so on the flip side, do you think it'd be really annoying if you wanted to build something like to help you, and then you couldn't find like a little one?
A wanna.
A little wanna. That'd be well annoying. Imagine that.
I would say, like, I can't imagine making something that specific that a little wanna would make.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Who knows? You are true.
Who knows where your imagination will take you?
Like, if I make a house, I'd need loads of those little glass bits to kind of build a window.
I feel like I'm going to shatter your dream here.
Oh, man.
Because I saw an episode with James May where he built a house out of Lego.
Yeah.
Can't be done.
What do you mean?
Yeah, he's just not very good at Lego.
Yeah,
what do you mean
maybe.
it can't be done?
Well,
you maybe do one, maybe, it just won't take the strain.
What about just do...
Maybe just do one
bungalow?
floor.
Or do a bungalow?
Yeah, do a bungalow, but I think the roof...
I think you'd need a lot of support struts, so you may walk around the house like this.
Yeah, you could have like wood and stuff, and then you put it on. No, just full Lego. Fair enough.
I'm just... yeah, go bungalow. Why are you getting... greedy. Why did
He's
you
got
go
wife and
upstairs?
kids to put somewhere.
Yeah, but I've got a whole place to put them out in.
They're out displaying them.
This is my wife.
There's my kids in the little display unit I made out later.
It took me 4 weeks to build this.
Right, massive thing of Lego.
Second one is Minecraft. Because I've never played Minecraft. But
I feel like you're building up here.
wait a minute. But it's basically Lego in a game, right?
Yeah, but you're taking loads of Lego.
But if I was going to pick a game,
I feel you regret it.
really?
Yeah, because you've got one thing and you're like, oh, I'm bored of this now. What can I do as an alternative? Oh, I wish I brought Rock Band.
That's crazy. I'd have to wait. Do I get to take all the extra peripherals?
That's crazy to take something you've never played, man.
For it, because that is a good
Get round to it.
offline game.
Yeah.
There are plenty of other games, but the world's ended. Who am I going to play something else against?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
The
it's a
other
big.
people in my world at that time was my wife and 2 children.
But it's the same thing going like, oh, what would you say? Oh, I take the General Hospital, or like the Casualty box set because there's so many episodes of it. What have you ate it?
That's ridiculous.
What if you ate it?
Ate it.
I think it's just his common slang.
Yeah, sorry.
This gets really bad. Right, we're going to have to see Casualty. We're going to ration it, and we'll eat seasons 1 to 6.
If you take the
tastiest
Casualty
ones.
box set with you, then fair play. Last thing.
And you've got food in that.
I would say we've got basic provisions.
Like potatoes.
Which leads me on to my last thing. I would take a microbrewery.
Oh, wow.
That's good.
Because...
You can get on board with that.
Can I come on your island?
No,
I'm not fucking playing Minecraft now.
I want to drink nice beer.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that I can, I can't think, build my own crops. So I'm literally
What, our Lego?
grow my own crops.
Growing,
That's
isn't
what's
it?
like build. Yes, those little flower ones with the 3 stalks.
They're not flower.
Your family's like, Alex, we've been really hungry.
It's weird. They're not flowering until I build the flower and build it onto the green bit.
Fucking hell.
So microbrewery.
Yeah, but with the pure purpose to make really nice craft beer.
Is that just like a bucket
good.
and some hops?
I don't know. I don't brew, so I have to learn all this.
Yeah.
I
Should
know
we should do that. We should make an IGN beer.
Well, Charlotte keeps saying to me, "How would you like your brew your own beer kit for Christmas?" But I'm like,
I poison myself.
I like drinking the beer. I don't like. There's loads of things that I enjoy. But I don't want the process of making it.
I do because
The apocalypse would have to happen.
they've started
for you to,
making.
like,
Yes.
pony up and
It'll probably take
have a
quite
crack.
a long time for me to make a decent beer, but hey.
Because it's not like the reason I never done it before was because it was just like make your own beer, but the beer was just like, well, I only like some beers. What if I didn't like the beer that I made? That'd be shit. But you can buy like Brooklyn beer ones. You can buy like Punk IPA
yeah,
and stuff
the
like that.
ingredients.
I'm pretty sure that your version of it is not going to be very good.
Actually, yeah, if you like brew your own Punk IPA, I'll just buy it.
Yeah, it's probably cheaper, takes less time, and you'll be drinking really nice beer while you're brewing the other beer as well.
Have you ever?
So you say you don't want the microbrewery now?
No, what I'm saying
Oh.
is that I've got no alternative.
Yeah.
Because
Right,
I can't
okay.
just go
Needs
down
must.
to supermarket and get a 3 for 2 on IPA or something.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
No 3 for 2s in the apocalypse.
No.
That's the
Oh,
thing.
it's free for all, isn't it?
That's how they get you.
But if
That's
it was
that-
3
that's
for
how-
2s,
yeah.
because then I'd get an extra one. If I'm only taking 3 things.
In the pocket, you say, well, you take all of it.
What?
You just take all you want. There's nobody governing, nobody policing this.
Who is policing this?
The person who sent me the email saying you've got an hour before the world ends. Pick your 3 things.
Okay, so
Microbrewery,
it's
big pot of Lego, and Minecraft. Game I've never played before, but
Scan's quite like one of your other
I
items.
like it.
That's brave, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will come around to the stuff that you guys like in future podcasts. But listeners, if you want to let us know what you would take into the next life, let us know. IGN_UK feedback IGN.com. Feedback.
Duck Hunt. This is from Arjun. Best Cinema Premiere is the name of his email. Firstly, thank you for hosting such a great evening at Podcast 300. I really enjoyed myself, and it was great to meet a lot of other Duck Hunters. Duck Hunt.
I ran into. I went to see The Martian on Saturday night. I texted you about it, but I came out of the podcast. I came out of the cinema on Clapham High Street, and I run into 2 people just shouted "Gav," and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get hit." And
I love the fact that's your natural.
yeah, I was just like, just turn around, go back, just run, don't even look
you
back.
turn around and you go, "You want some?"
But it was I can't remember their names, but it was 2 really, really nice people who'd been to Podcast 300 and was just like, oh, we had a really, really good time. Thank you so much for putting it on.
Cool.
So if that was you guys, you were on your way to Revolution. I hope you had a good night. I was trying to get them to go into Infernos, but they weren't having it. So
With you?
yeah.
Dan Kilby being there.
Yeah.
You gotta meet him.
Sorry, yeah, go on.
With the opening of pre-bookings for the new Star Wars movie, I was wondering, what are your best premiere experiences? Did any of you attend the premiere for Star Wars Episode 1? No, I was 12. I remember going.
I went to an early screening, but not the premiere.
Yeah.
I think it's been like first showings like available. I remember going to a memorable midnight showing of the Avengers with my super nerdy friends. One of my friends was also a massive comic book fan, so when he saw Thanos, he just exploded with "Motherfucking Thanos!" I'd never seen him this hype for anything.
I'd
He's
be
normally
fuming if
pretty
you sat next
jaded
to
when
me.
it comes to comic book movies. So that was worth it. I'm never going to cinema with you ever again.
I'd have been absolutely fuming with that.
I went to an early screening of Phantom Menace, and God, the excitement of when the credits rolled. Oh man! But then just
This is the thing. Like, so we talked about on Rebel Base a bit this week, but so we woke up early on Monday morning to buy Star Wars tickets.
We're secure. We
team.
locked down that shit. 7 IMAX tickets Thursday morning, 9:30
screen in
a.m.
Europe.
This is the IGN Christmas do.
I actually think it's my favourite ever screen. You know, like not BFI IMAX, the
Empire,
IMAX.
they've tweeted it as well. So I think since you went, they've installed the new 12.1 Dolby surround sound
and laser.
The sound's amazing.
Yeah. One thing though, the glasses are shit. I'm actually gonna. I was gonna put this in the Skype today.
There's new ones.
They're not very good.
Towards the end of the glasses, like the ends of the lenses, there's like colour blur.
Yeah.
So we were watching a movie, some trailers, because when we checked out IMAX laser, and in the edge of my eye, I was like, "What is that?" And like it seemed like everything was a bit like, like. Just like a blue blur.
I also,
fractional.
do you know what? I think that was because we were so close as well.
Do you reckon?
That's why I'm glad that we're like 5 rows from the back or something like that.
I can't.
But 9:30 a.m. Thursday, 17th of December.
And then we're having turkey lunch.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I know it's not completely related. I went to go and see an early screening of Tinkerbell and the something pirate. I can't remember what it's called. And we were sat quite far round to the side, and the whole film was blurred because it was in 3D.
Terrible.
Which is what is the point of that?
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
And it was Scarlett's first 3D film.
She's like, this is shit.
That's probably my favourite premiere.
Was it? Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the film though. The Tinkerbell film.
I've been to a couple of premieres, but like I think the best premiere experience I went to, I saw the last Hobbit film, and that was awesome. But the film is all right, but it was awesome because it was like the last one of that. Yeah. So like to be at the last premiere for that, and there was loads of the cast who hadn't seen the film, so they sat. So I watched it behind Benedict Cumberbatch, and that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Did you like touch his seat?
Benny. No, I didn't.
Benny.
I'm good in the cinema. I'm really good in the cinema.
You're well behaved.
But
I like when you told off that guy in our screening of Mad Max.
Yeah, I got up and went and told him to shut up.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to do with work. Me and Gabs went to see Mad Max again outside of work on the weekend, and we were in a really nice cinema, and I couldn't hear it from where I was at all, but like we were on the aisle, and Gabs was on the aisle, and across the aisle there's this guy who was speaking, and then just midway through the film, Gab just like disappears next to me. I look over and he just goes right up into this guy's face. What do you say? He's like, mate, shut up.
It's like, can you please stop talking?
Imagine Gav's face coming from out of the dark.
Out of the darkness.
It's like that scene in like Exorcist when it flashes on the screen.
And did he?
Yeah,
he shit himself. He absolutely shit himself.
It worked.
But also, like one of the my worst experiences of going to an early screening, and I wish I'd never gone. I think it was before I worked here, but we were all at the same thing. Was Dark Knight Rises?
Right, the IMAX.
The IMAX. That was the first time that it actually been shown to press.
Yeah.
And what was it, like 10 a.m. or something like that?
Yeah, early screening. Yeah.
I sat down to watch it. I was so excited for that film. Like, I thought I was gonna have to go outside for a bit because my heart was racing so fast. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And then it really spoiled it for me because I was like, I didn't really think it was that good because I was so excited. And I'd already booked my own IMAX ticket, so I went to see it again. Didn't like it again.
Right.
Then I watched Batman Begins and watched it straight after that again, and I really liked it. So there we are. So yeah, sometimes it's not that good to go see it because you get too excited.
And sometimes you need to watch Batman Begins before.
Sometimes you just got to watch Batman Begins.
But that's my whole thing with Star Wars. Is like trying to keep.
I think you're good. Like you'll not watch the trailer as well. Like you've done a good thing there.
Yeah.
Like we spoke a bit about this on Rebel Base, which is our Star Wars thing we do every week, and we were just talking about just being measured with expectations. Like I'm sure it's going to be a very good film, but if you just like, some people are booking multiple tickets for a single day on the weekend. It's like, imagine if you don't like it that much, you have to see it the next day, and you might like it a little bit less because you're just the circumstances of you watching it.
See,
You're hyping yourself up on it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
a
like-
little bit foolish for buying a shit ton of Star Wars toys for a film that I've not seen, but at the same time, they're pretty cool.
They're cool toys.
But yeah, it's like you can buy into it, and it's fun to get. Like, I'm not saying nobody can. Like, it's fun. Like, me and Gav bought loads of toys the other week when they came out.
Yeah.
And I'm getting excited. I'm loving riding that wave of excitement. But at the same time, just keep a lid on it.
Measured.
Okay, I've got something about Star Wars. Star Wars, one thing Lucas did right, and this is from Kian? Yeah, Kian McGrath. It says, Duck Hunt, and thanks for the excellent show. I'm a huge Star Wars fan and cannot wait for the new movie. What are you looking at?
Just looking at the name.
That's how you say it.
Is it? Is it Welsh?
No, it's Irish. He says he's from Ireland. It says underneath.
It is.
Keir McGrath. Ireland. To fill this whole of my life, I've watched all of Star Wars Rebels. It's awesome. Enjoyed most of it, but noticed something. Ezra Bridger, the young Padawan, builds his lightsaber, but includes a blaster rifle on the hilt. In all the time Lucas made Star Wars, the lightsaber was the same, except for Darth Maul. That wasn't a huge change. We got double-bladed and then curved hilt, Dooku. Now, however, Disney has made a lightsaber which can be taken apart. One which can rotate in a circle, one with a blaster, and one with too many blades sticking out. I don't like Lucas as much as the next fan, but he was often accused of commercialization. I find it a tad annoying this seems to be going unnoticed. Thanks for reading, and may the force be with you. That's a good point.
In Disneyland in Paris, and maybe even Disney stores, there is a whole thing where you build your own lightsaber.
Blade builders.
Blade builders.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, we talked about it on Rebel Base.
Hasbro toy. Yeah, you can like customize it and like make it looks ridiculous.
It's absolutely mental. There's one where like he's holding like that and there's like 12 lightsabers coming off it. It looks so stupid. Like it's mental.
But if that's what kids want,
But I'm not,
I
like
guess so.
there's a way where it is maybe just to do a different one because it looks visually interesting.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's best when it's related to story. Like there might be a reason Kylo Ren does that, and he's got this homemade one because no one knows how to make these things anymore. I quite like that as if it's a plot point as well.
and also I thought the way they work in Rebels is that it feels quite fitting for a little kid who hasn't mastered the Force to have this
To whack it together,
this little kind of
because
catapult thing.
Kanan's is pretty traditional, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
If you want to talk about that though, like the thing that like Disney own Sphero.
That
make BB-8. So Disney owned that company.
and then when J.J. Abrams he had a meeting with like Iger, and he said, "Oh, I've got this bit of tech. Take a look at this." And it was the inspiration. It's come full circle.
Wow. So I wonder if
is that dirty or is that
No, but it looks cool though.
It looks amazing. Yeah.
But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
If you could have a lightsaber, what colour would you have?
Red.
It's good. Red.
Yeah. Looks good.
Green.
Why?
I really like that scene in Return of the Jedi, like the one on the sail barge. I just think it looks so awesome when R2 fires it out and he ignites it, and you just like, because you just see two films with a blue lightsaber. When you see that as a kid, I was like, what?
Yeah. I quite like Mace Windu's one.
Purple.
Yeah, I like that.
The blue. I'd be happy with the blue.
Blue.
Yeah.
Although I do quite like red.
I don't like the connotations.
Matt Rye writes in saying, just got back from vacation to Universal Studios in Orlando.
Awesome.
During the last week's live show, there were several mentions of ET, which reminded me about one of the rides. I've been on the ET ride.
I haven't.
It says your name. It says your name at the end on the ET ride.
I thought you said
when you go on the ET ride,
yes.
when you're queuing up, they say to you, there's like a premise, and they go, what's your name? And at the end, when you're leaving, at the end of the ride, you take him back to his home planet.
Yeah.
And as you're leaving, he goes, "Thank you, Alex."
Is it like a pre-recorded thing?
Well, he must have recorded multiple,
names,
but they time it. They know when you're going to be going past him, and he says the right name.
Anyway,
And you're on a little bike.
I feel really sorry for a lot of Welsh people who have really Welsh names because there's absolutely no way they're going to be like, "Thank you, Anir."
It's just like ET going. He says, ET ride, easily the weirdest park experience he's ever had. It is kind of weird, horribly outdated. I thought they'd got rid of it already, but obviously not.
It's like bits of ET's face falling off and stuff like that.
This is horrifying.
But he thinks it's time for the park, for the ride to be replaced. So, if you could replace it with another Universal property, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question.
So, they already have a section in Islands of Adventure in Florida, but I think elsewhere, Jurassic World.
Well, they have Jurassic Park in the California one as
That's
well.
the thing, but they can expand that.
Yeah,
like,
actually have it.
needs to have it
It's been
updated.
more like Jurassic World.
Yeah.
The whole
I
experience.
think they need to tap into that, and yeah. Oh, speaking about this today, like with my girlfriend, imagine this as a thing for Jurassic World. It's a park, you go, and every day the same thing happens. So in the morning, you go to Jurassic World, you enter, you take the monorail in, you can go to the petting zoo, and there's animatronic dinosaurs you can have your picture with.
Yeah.
You can go to all the exhibits, all that sort of stuff. See a feeding, and then around midday, 1 o'clock, all the performers who are like the park attendants start acting a bit skittish, like something might have happened. And then progressively through the afternoon, it turns into this like things start going wrong, and it becomes this interactive experience where it culminates in like raptors appearing, and it becomes like, and then it goes through that cycle every day.
Yeah.
What is
Couldn't take small children.
That'd be brilliant, though, wouldn't it?
that's amazing. But what's the ride
There's
where
like an alien breaks free.
What's the ride where you're like it's just normal? You're on a train and then like it all goes up and like there's like
Earthquake.
robots coming down and stuff like that.
There's a Terminator ride, but that's not a train.
No, maybe it's in Beverly Hills Cop 3.
What?
I'm sure it's a real
Gav,
thing.
what you've
though.
done, you've confused life with
I'm sure it's real.
Beverly Hills Cop 3 again.
But basically the premise
look it up.
the premise for that is like you're going on this ride and then the ride breaks down and then aliens start attacking the world while you're on the ride.
That then.
I have no idea.
And it happens in Beverly Hills
what
Cop
else
3.
are Universal own that could happen? Fast and Furious. There is a Fast and Furious ride, isn't there?
There is, yeah. Yeah, didn't Beggs go to Dubai to play on it?
No, that was to interview the man in Fast and Furious.
Oh, okay.
That was Ferrari World.
But there's a Fast and Furious ride. I would go on that, definitely. I don't know, what else? What else have we seen at
I
Universal
think they should
this
update
year?
some of the old ones. Like, imagine updating Josie.
Back to the Future.
They had that. But then they should update it. Oh, yeah.
But that's what I mean.
They
update it.
tore that out for the Simpsons ride.
Yeah.
Did
no.
they?
Oh, yeah, they tore that out for the Simpsons ride and they tore Spider-Man out for Transformers. The Transformers ride is really good.
Really?
Yeah, really,
Did
really
they?
good. Yeah,
Transformers not in the park, not Islands of Adventure.
No, I don't think so. It's like the new 3D thing now. That was the thing with Universal when I went. So I went to the one in California. I haven't been to one in Florida, but I went to the one there, and it seemed like a lot of the rides were just like these 3D experiences now.
Yeah. But so the Ratatouille ride in Disneyland is similar thing, 3D experience, but at the same time you do move a bit, but it's like a kind of all-encompassing screen.
Yeah.
So it feels like you're moving, but it's really, really good. It's like the best ride I've been on in ages.
I think they should probably do a ride based around the 24th biggest grossing Universal movie of all time.
Was it?
Liar Liar. Just like some kind of courtroom slapstick.
Did you find anything?
Yeah. So
Is any truth to
the
it?
Alien attack ride featured in that film,
Right.
In the Wonderworld theme park, is actually Earthquake, the big one.
Earthquake, the big one. Well done.
I don't think the robots in regular Earthquake. I think they might have added
I
them.
think they added that in.
That was a departure
I don't
from.
think Eddie Murphy is in it either.
That's not Earthquake
What?
canon.
Okay.
Guess what? This is shocking. 18th biggest movie Universal has ever had. The Lorax.
Serious?
Wow.
Bloody hell.
That's weird.
There's quite a lot of
What's their biggest one?
Jurassic World.
Okay.
Domestic gross of $650 million. Then E.T.,
love-
Jurassic Park, Despicable Me, Furious 7.
There's something
Minions.
about the, what do you call it? The logo bit, the Universal logo bit. Oh,
It's nice, isn't it?
yeah.
I think the music.
Yeah,
I might
Waterworld.
be-
That's like shit film, amazing ride.
I
Is
might,
that right?
Yeah, there's like well, it's not a ride.
Oh, it's like a
an
stage show.
experience.
stage show.
Right.
Yeah.
I might be
It's really
entirely
good.
wrong, but I
quite like
think
that
the
film.
Universal
Guilty
theme
pleasure.
tune is written by John Williams.
Was it?
The what?
Might have made that up.
The what?
But the ident music for Universal is John Williams.
Right. But I love
May have
like
made that up.
what are they called, those bits where you have
Idents.
Idents, I guess.
Yeah.
But the Waterworld one where it's obviously the planet and then suddenly, the water gets higher and higher and higher as the snow comes out. I like that bit.
We should do that. Should be a feature. Best like
idents.
variations, like movie specific
yeah.
idents.
Actually,
Like
Universal-
Crimson Creek, it's like just red.
Universal do like their own versions, a lot of them. But like, what was the one that was like a horse?
TriStar?
TriStar?
Or
Yeah,
Columbia?
Columbia TriStar,
But which one was the unicorn? It's a unicorn.
Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it? With wings.
Right, come on. What next bit of feedback?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are podcasting. We're not just talking.
James has written it, and James Hayward. I've not heard you mention Mr. Robot. It's possible. I don't know why I did that. It's possibly the best.
Robot was off.
Oh yeah.
The podcast.
It's possibly the best TV series I've ever watched. I'm sure you'd love it. Have you watched it? Up there with the best in terms of reflecting the world around us. Great storyline, directing, and acting. It's just been added to Amazon Prime as well.
Has it?
Yes.
I signed up for that the other day to watch Red Oaks, so I'll watch that. Because we haven't.
So Newport Jail has watched it and says that it's absolutely brilliant.
Heard lots of people say it's got
really good
Christian
stuff,
Slater in it as well.
Is it?
I think the thing that put me off was the really awful posters for it. There were a bunch of posters that were like basically look they've been written by someone who's done like an A-level politics degree or something like that.
Right.
Oh, not degree, but like it was just like really like basically said to like hack the planet and stuff like that. I was just like, well, I don't fancy that.
I like the font used though for the Mr. Robot.
But the guy in it is
I saw an awful poster for Bradley Cooper's Burnt.
oh, that's awful. Yeah,
It's the worst graphic design on a poster. It uses 4 different fonts, different colours, and it's just like this is really nerdy. But like on Burnt, you'll show it afterwards. On Burnt, there's this yellow to orange gradient, and it just looks so cheap.
What's the kerning like?
Awful.
Don't go style on coding, mate. But I'd really want to watch it. The guy in it is in Until Dawn.
It is, yeah.
He's one of the guys in it. Yeah. The robot.
I'm not
sure. Is he a robot? I don't know.
Robot and Until Dawn. You've ruined that for me.
No, but is he a robot in Mr. Robot, or is it like?
There's no robots in it.
Ah?
There's no robots.
Well, I'm not fucking watching it. Bollocks. All right.
Last piece of feedback.
Lavon Young. Oh, amazing name. That's like an NFL player. Lavon Young. Great name. It's Assassin's Creed time. Be my personal tour guide. Right, he's from America. That's right. Greetings and Duck Hunt. I'll be roaming the streets of London soon, thanks to Assassin's Creed Syndicate. What neighbourhoods do you guys hail from? Give me a landmark that I can find that is uniquely yours, where you attend university, favourite bar, etc., etc. I'd love to visit in-game and eventually in person. So I went to university in Aberystwyth, which is not in
DLC.
in there, so you can't go there. But I live in the borough of like Lambeth, which is a massive part of it.
Born in the borough of Lambeth, so
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it is worth saying it's like not 1-to-1. It's like it's nipped and tucked. Right. Like certain things are brought slightly closer together. Because I tried to find if I could find where the IGN office is.
Yeah.
On Oxford Street, and the kind of that part of London, like where we're based here. Curry's is there.
Yeah.
Top shop's there.
Well, this is the thing.
It's kind of all like sucked together a little bit. Like if you go a few streets up from here, you kind of get St Pancras.
I forgot to say this when it happened at the time, but so we did a video that was basically we filmed a lot of the landmarks that appear in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And when I went out to film it, I said to I can't remember. It was Beer Park, and I said I can't. Like I was looking through the footage that Ubisoft has sent us to mirror, and I said I can't believe they haven't put the Millennium Dome in this. And Beer Park went, yeah, that's a bit weird, isn't it? And I was like, yes.
What a numpty!
Oh my god!
What an idiot!
But yeah, so I don't think that will be in there. But
is the Crown of Two Chairman in there?
No, there's lots of pubs in there you can go into. That's where we usually meet Charles Dickens. He loves a pint.
I like Covent Garden in it. That was
Covent Garden's really good.
Yeah.
Covent Garden's really good. Leicester Square's in there. It's quite cool going to Leicester Square because there used to be a big theatre in Leicester Square called the Alhambra.
Okay.
And it's been torn down like at the end of the 19th century. It's there, but you can just eat. There's like a little park in it.
What's Oxford Circus like? Because that's
Oxford Circus. I couldn't really find it.
Oh really?
Oh. So maybe it wasn't as big a thing.
I think like the biggest, like the nearest landmarks.
Trafalgar Square is brilliant. Trafalgar Square looks great. Buckingham Palace is great. You can go into the Queen's Garden.
Yeah.
Muck about. Have a little swim in a lake.
Is Brixton in there?
Brixton's not in it. There's a lot of like South Bank's just all factories and shit houses.
Is that what it was like?
Yeah, just like heavy industry. Well, like Battersea Power Station, like
Millennium Bridge. Can't believe they haven't done that.
No, the wheel's not in.
Is the BT Tower?
BT Tower's not there. Yeah, it's rubbish representation.
How far north does it go? Does it have Regent's Park?
The highest you go north is St Pancras.
Okay.
I don't think King's Cross not even in there.
So Euston's not on there?
Euston's not on.
How am I going to get home?
I don't know. It's a shame as well because in the Victorian period, Euston was beautiful. Euston was like one of the most beautiful train stations in London.
Yeah.
And they tore it down in the 70s and replaced it with that monstrosity.
It is horrendous.
And then you just got those gates still that remain that are now brilliant little pubs.
Yes, yeah.
I will say Lavon Young.
Euston Tap Shop.
Is that in there or not?
No,
doesn't have to be.
Those things aren't there. Euston isn't there.
Right.
The most northerly train station is St Pancras.
Okay.
But I would say that's kind of
I know.
level.
They just kind of they pull Whitechapel up. It's all a bit deformed.
Whitechapel shouldn't be up there.
I know. It's kind of all a little bit like smushed.
Okay. Yeah, it's
bigger than. It's 30% bigger than Unity's Paris.
really.
That for a press release.
Yeah. No, ready from an interview with a developer.
Yeah. If but Lavon Young, we'll show you our favourite bar. If you're ever in London, we'll take you out for a pint.
Definitely.
And as long as he's into NFL, because it sounds like Lavon Young.
And if he's not, we won't.
If he's not, well, I just won't do it. What I'll do is I'll say we'll definitely do it, and then just not do it. So
This is an insight into what Gav is really.
Yeah, he's never done that before.
That's it for this week's podcast. Thank you, as ever, for listening. I think next week's coming live from Paris Games Week.
it is, yeah. Me, Rory, and Krupo will be coming at you from Paris.
Nice.
I can't remember. Really look forward to that. Should be good.
So until then, au revoir.
Au revoir.
Bye.